Welcome back to Space Engineers. And it's time to improve our base a little bit this time. We built a mining ship last time, and I may go out on that to get some resources if I run out this time, but we'll get all that sorted. So there's a few comments that I actually got, and I want to go through those quickly. One is that my mag boots were the things that was activating when I was stepping off this surface. I've just increased the gravity. Yep, the mag boots are still actually activating. Fine, let's increase it even more. Let's have a look. Let's bring this up to 1G. Okay. Are we still activating mag boots? Yes, we are. So, I guess it's one of those things that the game just really wants us to sort of walk on the sides of objects sometimes, particularly in space. So, let's just turn this back down to... Whoa, no, shouldn't do that. It's reverse gravity. Turn this down to about a quarter gravity will do just fine, I think. Okay, so the other thing I was going to do is, first of all, reinforce this dock for no other reason that I'm going to be cutting part of it apart, and it's only connected with one block at the moment, so that's not too good. Yeah, do we want just storage inventories? Maybe not. Maybe I want system inventories. Yes, so let's just grab some stuff at the assembler. There we go. So yes, we're going to reinforce that because we're going to be cutting part of it apart, and I don't want the dock to fall off along with the ship and everything else. So let's just quickly get that out of the way. So let's just go up from here. This is only temporary, so we don't need to put fully completed blocks in here. We're just doing this to make sure that they are all nicely hooked to something. Maybe I can't put that there, so let's just make sure it's connected. There we go. That should do for now. I haven't completed the rest of this just because I hadn't actually constructed enough stuff in our assembler. So why are we doing this? We're doing it because essentially the way things are working at the moment is sort of okay, but it's only running with one assembler and it's only running with one refinery, and that actually gives me a good idea. We should certainly make sure that that refinery is running more efficiently, so a yield module or two might be a good idea. They're quite large, as you've seen. I don't think we need to put them crossways like like this. I did do on the surface, but I think you can put them anywhere you like, I hope. So let's give it a go and put them this way. There we go, 4 of them. And then we're going to hopefully do that to increase the throughput, well, not throughput, sorry, the amount of ore we get per, the amount of ingots we get per ore. There we go, that's better. So we need just some metal grids, construction components, steel plates, and most of the, oops, not sure about the mag boots there. Metal grids, yeah, there we go. More construction components, they'll be down here. And more steel plates. And most of that will now be complete. 1, 2, 3. We're going to need some more steel plates, and that's pretty much it. They're all active already, though, so we don't need to complete those anymore if we don't want to. So that should mean if we go into the refinery interface, we'll see that they are now, well, it's now more efficient. So if we go to control panel and then go to our refinery, here we go. So, yep, 4 modules, 4 yield modules, which means our effectiveness is 200%, and that's all that we want. Don't really care so much about power efficiency or speed at the moment, because we can always build more refineries. But having our ore not wasted, or basically that we're going to get multiple ores, is fine with me. We can also put stuff on the assembler, but I don't think you can put the same stuff on the assembler module. So power efficiency, I don't really care that much about. Yield, speed is about the only one that I think I want. I wonder if that will go on the assembler. Let's just put it on the back. Will you go on the assembler? Oh, we need a steel plate, that's all. That will do fine. Let's just grab some steel plate. Am I building stuff? Let me just select to build lots of steel plate. There we go. Well, I don't want to say lots. Enough to get going. There we go. So it needs a few construction components, and then that will hopefully be faster at making this little plate I just ordered anyway. There we go. So how many slots? Are there just 2 sets of slots on one of these? Let's take a look. Interesting. There are 4 slots. Where would the 4th one be? Unless it only needs 1 slot on the sides rather than 2. You know, if it goes right here, then that's fine. Because there's a slot on the top and the bottom we can access. So maybe we want this actually lying down. Because remember, the slot, the side opposite this one will be the same layout. So on those sides, it will only have 1 socket. Huh. Okay. Well, if that works, and we'll do that later. I think I'm not too concerned about the speed that much, but if we had an assembler that is running at 200% speed, what is it at the moment? Productivity 200%. So twice as fast? Seems like something we'd want. Again, I'm not blocking this side in. No, because we don't have really much more of the way to actually get to inside here from my cargo can at the moment. We'll be moving the assemblers out fairly soon anyway, so that's not much of an issue. So what are we going to do? We're going to actually put a sorter in, and then we're going to actually probably construct an arc furnace, I think. Arc furnaces are really good, but only at basic metals. And it's certainly iron and maybe something like nickel. I can never remember beyond iron, but certainly iron they are good for. And they look sort of similar to the assembler in size, but they are faster than the refinery, much faster, and sort of dedicated for the purpose of dealing with iron. So it's hard for me to see. Let me just go upwards. Yeah, there we go. So you can see an idea of the size of it. But also, you'll notice that this thing doesn't have any slots for modules. So with that in mind, I guess we can turn it upside down. There's no reason we need to have it that way. That means we can walk underneath it. And more importantly here, we can move it all the way over here, or something along those lines. And we can have a conveyor going out all the way over here. So we just need some large steel tubes, which I already had made. Yeah, so let's get that going. They're down here. And let's just get a few bits and pieces. So quite an easy sort of size. Didn't I turn this upside down? You know, I could have sworn I turned this upside down. Let's try that again. 6. There we go. That was definitely upside down now. Yeah, because we're in space, so there is no up. You know, don't worry about it too much. And that means if we can get the stuff from over there into here, and then back out again, then we can use this as a source for processing all of our iron ore instead of the refinery, which can be used for more suitable tasks. So to do that, we're going to need probably a sorter up there somewhere, which is why this whole thing is reinforced. And we probably want to split it as soon as possible as such. So we could probably do a junction right there, for instance. Send a tube this way, behind the dock, down into the back, and then we'll send everything else out this way, back towards a cargo can of some kind. And of course, we can combine these together into an array of, well, is it arc furnace? It says blast furnace on it, but it is an arc furnace. Basically electrically fired furnace, and we can just have a bunch of them if we need massive iron ore processing or ferrous metal processing. All right, so let's get that sorter in place, which means I probably need a junction. So let's just get a conveyor, and we want the full sizes one this time, not the small conveyor. There we go, full size. And what else do we need? Sorter. Yeah, conveyor sorter. So let's just grab that as well. And let me just, for safety's sake, get into this craft and just fly it away a little bit. Turn that off. Go down. go sideways, and we'll just park it on the asteroid for the moment. I do like the sounds. The sounds didn't used to be this good, particularly when you were in space. Now they're quite nice. Do enjoy them as well. Of course, it's different sounds if you open your helmet. Not that I want to do that, but only if you're in an atmosphere. So yeah, we're fine just there. So you get very different sounds on the planet's surface. Let's get well, hopefully just disconnect you, and hopefully that oh no, is that disconnected now? I mean, it doesn't matter if it is, because I don't care that much. You know, all these blocks were non-constructed. Maybe it won't connect with this. Let's just try. Are you disconnected? Doing well. It's certainly not moving. So there may be separate grids, but not moving anywhere. Good. Fine. Let's just give this a go. So we want that sorter. And interesting. We will need to point it heading that away. So I guess we're going to need a few things first. Let me just put a junction in place. 9. There we go. That does look disconnected, doesn't it? It's not just me. Let's see what happens once I rebuild the thing. Yeah, you see that's still red, so it's disconnected. Never mind. I don't have a problem with that as such, as long as I've got enough space in my inventory to rebuild it. Because I never completed this section, it's fine. And then a dock. Oh, do I have enough room? Probably not. That's my inventory full. Let's just get rid of a little bit of it. There we go, a non-signal. I don't need the thruster components by any means, so that will sort out my inventory for now. It's full again. Anything else we can get rid of? We don't need the bulletproof glass, that was for certain. Don't need displays. And let's get rid of a few construction components, no problem. I should make the upgraded tools as well, although I'm not quite sure if that means much, because I've already got the welding and the grinding speed up in the configuration. Okay, so we got a junction here. We will then have some more extensions for the dock. That is not a problem. We're now going to want a sorter, so the sorter is going to go right here. And we have to be a bit careful which way it's rotated, so just follow the big white arrow. In this case, that's exactly what we want. We want some going this way. And those construction components that I put away, we're now going to need. That's pretty normal for me. Let's just grab some of you, and then I'm probably going to produce a few hundred more. Am I out? Wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, looks like I'm out. That's fine. We just need to wait for that. I can only do it off camera if need be, but that's his started up. So now we just need to configure this thing. Let's just get rid of you for a second. Where is the control panel on this thing? Ah, there it is. Okay, so we're going to set this to have a certainly iron ore. And if you see my Stationeer series, yeah, definitely going to have ore, not ingots. Instead of the other way around. So active filters, iron ore, and we're going to set the whitelist. So only iron ore can go this way. And anything else that the arc furnaces can process, we'll set that to that list as well. Okay, and it will take nickel and also cobalt, I think. So we can also add those to the list. So nickel ore and cobalt ore. See, cobalt. There we go. Anything else will go the other way, back the way, you know, we're expecting. So I'm just going to then make sure that this side of things is then secured to the bottom. So let's just do that as well. There we go. So we got an extra leg on this thing. And then what we're going to do, let's just see what the options are on the sorter, because I think the sorter can be set to collect everything, drain all, yes. So if we want to set that to on, then it should pull everything from the ships as they dock. At least this one will pull all the iron ore, etc. And then the other ones will pull the other ore. So what we want to do is probably, if this is a ship dock, on the other sorter, which is going to go right here, let's disconnect you. The other sorter, we want the opposite. We want exactly the same filter, but set to blacklist. So everything else will go the other way. And also, that does mean that, let's just see, is the control panel somewhere accessible? Nope. Okay, so now that the stuff will go the other way, then we won't have any fighting going on between the two sorters. So interior plates, construction components, small steel tubes, none of that's any problem. And then, so small steel tubes, interior plates, construction components. Is that enough to build it? More construction components, okay. No problem. We'll also have to set up a system which moves all the components to a different cargo can, just so I don't need to keep scrolling through this list if something's being made from the assembler. Anything from the assemblers should automatically be moved to that cargo can. There we go. 90, hopefully you're enough. Let's take a look. Yeah, there is our control panel. And now we're going to set the same thing. So this is... let's just rename the original. Let's call that the arc. Let's say ferrous sorter. And this one is going to be not ferrous sorter. But they're both going to set to drain all. And this time they will leave it on blacklist. And we're going to add the same filter. So cobalt, iron, and nickel. And that's it, pretty much set up. We don't need to do anything else there. We can indeed put the dock back at this point. I'm not going to show that on camera, but we can just feed a tube or wherever we want out here for a dock and go with that. So we've got two of those going. So all the other stuff will go that way and be pushed by this sorter. It'll drain everything and it'll get sent that way into our cargo can. Or both cargo cans. Is that a junction or a cargo can? It's a junction, so it'll go into that one. Okay, that's exactly what we want now. So given that this is probably still not empty, you guys still got ores in you? Yes, you do have a lot of ores in you. So let's, first of all, we need to hook up this to our arc furnace, and we'll do that now. I'll probably do that. Let's just see what you need for construction. Yeah, you need lots of little bits. I'm going to do that off camera because otherwise it'll be me welding too many of these to get it all the way over there. But I want to space things out a lot more. If we have our arc furnaces over there, a refinery raise here, we'll be raising the assemblers there at some point and making them somewhere else. Just because we need space to keep everything neat and tidy. It'll just help my OCD-like tendencies to have everything built, you know, sort of nice. All right. I'm going to come back, build this and come back in a second. Okay, so that's all now done. We've got a dock back again, and now we have two sorters. Now, importantly here, I've got a loop, and we don't always need loops, but I've just got this loop to start off with. There's enough room currently for those ships to fit between it quite easily, but later on we may well just reroute this around, or maybe even eliminate the loop. It doesn't really much matter at the moment. It just helps me to see this and understand that stuff is going this way. It's going into our arc furnaces. I'm going to recharge in a second. And from our arc furnaces, we're then having a sorter, which is going to pull straight out of the arc furnace and make sure it goes that way. I'm not sure if, does the arc furnace have internal storage? Let's quickly take a look. Is there a control panel on it? Probably not. Let's go over here to our medical facility. Let me just recharge for a second. That'll do. And let's just quickly take a look at that. So the arc furnace inventory. Is there an arc furnace inventory, output inventory? I assume there will be. Yeah, so there is some inventory here, and other systems can pull from it, so we don't necessarily need this sorter, but I just like everything to be in that cargo can, or in the other cargo can that we're about to construct that will, well, maybe construct at some point, which will have just components in it. I am probably going to upgrade this at some point soon. What I'll do is take out this corner entirely and we'll replace this with a large cargo can. And we'll have that take the place of that cargo can down there. And then obviously that will lead into when we get into the arrays of various things. But that's okay. For now, we don't need to worry about it. We can test this system now. Yeah, because we have still some, I assume we've still got some ore on here. That is ferrous. Yep, 27,000. Ferrous. And indeed, this one should have maybe some in it as well. Yeah, this is gold, nickel, and all kinds of stuff. Why don't we dock this up? And let's see if everything works. One thing I need to do is just set this up on this particular one block to take the ingots and whitelist them all. So conveyor sorter 3, ferrous ingot sorter, and then just scroll down here, set it to a whitelist of the ingots. So nickel ingots, iron ingots, and what was the other one? Cobalt ingots? Yes. So then just to make sure we've got the other sorters, we've got the same thing here. That's all good. And the not ferrous sorter should also be just ores. Yes. So everything should now be set up except for maybe making sure that they're all set to drain all. Ferrous sorter and not ferrous sorter. Yep, they're all set to not to drain all. So that's fine. Let me just get my corner lights back again. I do quite like those corner LCD. Ooh, corner LCDs. I didn't know we had those. Yeah, I think I will have to use that particular thing. Let's just get these corner lights set up. We're going to need to put them just at the side of here, just as a nice way of lighting things up. So let's get you there. You there, and that shouldn't need much to construct. Yeah, just components. Fine. And I think what I'll do on those as well is just change their intensity. I think I'll just ramp them up a little bit. Control panel, corner lights. Docking lights. There we go. Save that, and then we can up the radius, reduce the fall off, increase the intensity. And that should be pretty maximized. Yep, that's pretty nice. And then we can just get in onto one of our ships. In this case, the access is from the front, isn't it? There we go. And we should recharge our energy as well while we're in here. So we've got hydrogen powering this thing. What I want to make sure of, this may drain ice. And I'm not sure whether we want that to happen. Technically, we do for the H2O2 generator. But, I think I'm going to have a separate dock for ice or something like that. So all we need to do is make sure that we set that up somehow. This is set, that's the only problem. This is set to not, it's going to drain the ice anyway. I'll leave it for now, and then there should be enough in the tanks for me to maneuver. And I'll set that up off camera. But it just means just a little bit of a change in the sorters. And the blacklist is the main issue that we've got. We need to make sure it's active on both so that it doesn't take any of the ice out. But for now, I want to make sure it empties this ship. And there isn't much ice in there anyway, so that's not really much of a problem. Yeah, let's head forwards. There we go. Now, let's see what happens to our inventory. Go to K. And it's all draining. Gone. Are you going to drain as well? Not if you're in the O2 generator. Good. And that's the connected inventories. So that's not our ship. Good. So we can just disconnect again. Head down. Has it drained the ice from everywhere else? Let's take a quick look. Not from the O2. But there's certainly none left in the medium cargo cans. That's fine. Let's just get you put back on the ground. And again, I'll solve that bit off camera. We don't have any much of a problem there. Let's get out. Oops. And can we also drain this while we're at it? This should just have iron and nothing else, which should be sent out to our arc furnace, which is probably already running. Is it already running? Can't tell from here, but again, we don't have any sound to do that kind of guess on. There we go. And P. Check our inventory. It's been drained out of the cockpit, certainly. It's disappearing out of everything else as well. And we can see here the refinery does have iron in it, but only because we don't have a reversal sort of loop going on, a reversal kind of conveyor. Once it's in the refinery section, it can't get back out again because the sorters are pointing the wrong way. That's no problem. It's just that we originally used it for iron in the first place. So, yeah, there we are. Arc furnace number 2. In this case, just because I replaced it. And that is happily chunking away on producing iron. The iron is then leaving. It's going through the iron ingot sorter and should be going back to the cargo can, I imagine, at the moment. Yep. Is that building up? Yes, it is. So we'll have lots and lots of various ores in there, at least certainly the nickel, cobalt, and iron. So that's that done. We've got an extra section added to our base that's going to be for processing iron and nickel, quite a bit faster than our main refinery can handle it, which will also leave our main refinery to handle the other metals. But because we're just going to produce so much iron, we definitely want that separate setup to sort it out. So that's all working, and I probably will have to move this conveyor system. It's sticking up far too much. So what I'll probably do is just send it down here through the ground, or just underneath maybe this platform level, and back up underneath. Notice that I've put a conveyor junction here, not a tube, because we'll be able to extend this, and we'll turn this into a junction as well. I should have done it originally, but we just put one here, one here, one here, etc. and just have extensions running off either side of it. And that'll make a nice little array that will be able to produce a lot of iron at once, which will, give us lots of benefits when I try and build stuff with the assembler. And I think next episode we're going to get into assembler arrays, and you can set them up to sort of assist each other and all kinds of different things. That's worthwhile doing. Cooperative mode is very useful for assemblers. Produces them at speeds that you really can't believe otherwise. So I think, do I want to do anything else this episode? We certainly don't want to build another ship. That is perfectly fine for now. I need to go out with that ship to lots of other asteroids and explore them, see what metals are on them, because we're going to need all the different metals up here as well as down on the surface. And yes, we're coming up to time on this episode. It's 27 minutes or so that will do it for this one, I think. It's been good to build the rest of the base out a little bit rather than building ships for an episode. And yes, so next episode, I think I'm going to move that medical station at some point soon. We'll get the assemblers, so I'll need to extend this whole region so we've got a nice dock. And then maybe we'll take a look at also extending the refineries as well, putting a large cargo can in. So next episode is going to be another base building episode. What we can also do once we start constructing stuff is extending this solar array out here and do something with that if we want to track the sun. But aside from that, I think it's getting on pretty well at the moment. What do you guys think? Do you have any comments? Any improvements? Yes, we don't necessarily need loops. I know we can sort of do other things like that. There's a reason why you normally need a loop of some sort, though. In this case, is because we're using these, and they're used set to drain all. So there's nothing that can backflow through that, which means once it's gone this way, we can't. Well, I suppose we can branch off. We can put like a junction in here and go somewhere else. But remember that this is going to try and drain everything this way. So unless that other thing has another sorter that blacklists what this one is whitelisting, you get the idea. So it's often simpler just to create a loop and have separate conveyors to make things simpler in your head, if not the most efficient thing in the world. But I suspect people will have comments. I'm sure that normally happens anyway. The other thing we could do, of course, is just extend this conveyor up across the ceiling and then down. That would just make it part of the giant door system that we may end up in having in this place. At some point soon as well, we'll probably have to get onto large ships, but they need a lot of resources, and we have... I have a lot of iron at the moment, but not a lot of the other metals, so we'll have to wait, I think, for having a fair amount of resource for the other metals. Particularly, I want lots of uranium up here, and that's one thing that you know, the other refineries may end up processing, so we'll have uranium or something along those lines. And yeah, I think we're fine. Oh, one other comment that someone did say, I did mention when I was building this ship, I wasn't sure if the drills could damage each other because they were just touching. And apparently they don't have any, it's just the model interfering with each other. There's no problem with them. I know there certainly isn't in large drills because the tunnel bore systems necessarily have the drills like in a regular grid just right next to each other. But these small ones, the model looks a little bit strange when you do that, even if technically it's probably just fine. And the other thing as well, I mean, you need to look on the workshop. Is there any way of getting rid of this sort of fog illumination effect that's near the spotlights? Because it's really irritating. The light itself is perfectly fine, don't care about that. But when you're really close to this thing, it just washes out. It just washes out everything. It's not perhaps so bad in this craft, but certainly on planets, the ones on planets, it was pretty terrible. I wasn't too impressed with it. It's just not a great effect. As far as I'm concerned, because there's nothing for it to interfere with. Remember, we're in complete vacuum. It can't have this kind of effect in front of the lights. To do that, it would have to bounce off something. So like fog. We don't have fog up here. There's no atmosphere. All right, anyway, that's my whinge for the day over. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll see you next episode for some more base building. As always, guys, feel free to like, subscribe, and share, and thanks a lot for watching.